up and make them stop. Wanna know my name so badly, knows that I'ma change the game.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Chillcast. I'm Anna. Today we have our guest Henry from Agridex joining us. And Agridex has been a longtime friend of mine that we first met in Breakpoint.
We were first in our building journey.
Yeah. So I think Henry reached out to Toli on email.
I think originally we met and I told you all about Agridex and you said you should meet Toli, and then I met him and gave him the kind of vision of what we were doing, and he and the foundation very, very kindly sort of swung behind us and gave us support and started us on that beginning journey, and it's been an amazing trip since.
Yeah, I'm super proud to see where Agridex has grown in the last 2 years, building through the bear. So today I'd love to hear from Henry to share with our audience, what is Agridex doing? You guys are obviously going through TGE right now. What does that mean? And where are you guys going next?
Well, thanks so much for having me, Anna. So Agridex was born out of the vision to make it easier to trade agriculture around the world. One of the great things about blockchain and why people in China, Europe, America, everywhere can kind of combine on the same ideas is there's a unity. And I think that what we're trying to bring is that same unity to the trade of agriculture. So a unified settlement system, unified language, and unified smart contracts. So it becomes incredibly easy to do everything together. It's been an incredible journey. I was telling you that just yesterday I was speaking in Parliament here in the UK, in the Commons, along with Stephen Bartlett from Diaries of a CEO and Coinbase. So it kind of feels like this mass adoption that we've all been talking about may finally be upon us, if I'm allowed to be in Parliament in a positive way. As you said, we built in the bear, and now we're running in the bull. In fact, one of the first things Agridex is doing post TGE is we're launching an actual bull that's been traded on the blockchain. So we're going to be releasing the bull. We're going to be TGing. Please keep a lookout for all the various exchanges we're on, but we'll be TGing on at 9 a.m. on the 4th of December on a range of big exchanges. Agridex is a mixture of kind of governance, utility, and retail as a token. Lots of people want to buy it because they care about food and they want to vote for how the DAO operates, but there's also a lot of utility for traders who use our system in order to get discounts. And kind of the long-term vision post our token is really just to start capturing more and more of the world of agriculture. People don't realize it's probably the world's biggest industry. It's $2.7 trillion. Everywhere in the world produces food, everywhere in the world consumes food, and we all need to eat to stay alive. So it's a pretty compelling use case, but as you know, it's full of friction, right? It's incredibly hard to trade around the world. So we're really, really excited. We're getting out as much content as possible and really kind of engaging with our community as we go.
Yeah, what are some exciting alpha that you can share, or what is the technical and product roadmap like?
So far, the portions of our product that are live as our payment system, we've already put a range of different communities, including exporters of wine out of South Africa and cocoa out of Nigeria. But I really don't see it stopping there. The big thing that we've done, and we've just signed an agreement actually with Plume to provide debt obligations on our chain. We're rolling out several other partnerships with large groups in the kind of wider blockchain ecosystem. And what I see going forward is not just us being the best for payments, but us being able to provide debt and lending to farmers. We've also signed up with Jupiter's GUM. And also I feel that a big thing for us in terms of revenue and interest in the chain is for us to be providing insurance. Why shouldn't people trading their goods also buy goods in transit insurance through us? It's highly profitable, it's very, very easy to sell on, and it's reasonably low risk on a marketplace standpoint. So I think the big things going forward in 2025 are those two. But if you guys look at the video of me speaking in Parliament, I'm very much speaking to noobs, so people who don't understand blockchain.
I hope Parliament people never hear this.
Yeah, exactly. So it's people who don't understand, and I think the way that I explain it to them, and because a lot of us aren't getting the next step of people onto blockchain because we're using exclusionary language. So what I deliberately said is the big thing that I was trying to do with our blockchain is to let people tell a story about their food. If you think that there's brand value in handbags or in electronics, depending on the name, but there isn't that same thing with food. Most of us walk into our shops, we buy our packet of strawberries, we don't know where it comes from, how it got to us, who the farmer was, and so there's no brand value, so there's no loyalty, and there's no additional value. I think by using something like Agridex and a blockchain and and registering those data points and that information, hopefully within the next 6 months to a year, we can offer this kind of QR code where you can just scan and hear the story of the farmer itself. And that's when it starts getting quite interesting, and you can start to really build brand value about what the product is and why you should be excited about it, whether it's your celery, your strawberries, your goji berries, whatever.
Japan might be one of the best at doing this, because I was in Japan not too long ago, and they would show, like, we go to a restaurant to eat and they would say like, oh, this rice is from like this very particular maker, or like this strawberry is from like this very particular farm, and they actually have brand names. But I think it's something very hyper localized, hyper regional. But
like France always had the monopoly for years on fine wine, because they just put a lot of time and effort into the stories. And you're completely right. Japan has it with Kobe beef. Like, everybody knows Kobe beef around the world. In fact, Wagyu is a term that people don't even understand comes originally from Japan. They just think it means like marbled steak now. They've kind of like exported that understanding about food because they took people on a journey. And I'm thinking, why can't we do that with most everyday foods?
Absolutely should, absolutely can. There's so many quality variations there.
Yeah.
The other thing I realized, kind of the light bulb moment, is Agridex is actually a pay-fi project, in addition to touching on elements of DeepIn, because the part that's exciting, like, arguably in the most cynical way to say, farmers can pay via Phantom Wallet. They don't need anything like extra special, but the invoicing, the tracking, the financing is really what makes projects like Agridex exist, and for good reason, because that's the financing part that they wouldn't not have been able to get if it weren't for blockchain and for projects like you.
No, I think you're totally right. And I think also by using a system like ours, like, obviously we want people to stay more and more on chain. It's easy for us. We don't want to pay the fees to on and off ramp, but we still need quite a fluid structure for them to do that, right? And I think it needs people like us at first, even if farmers start using us and then eventually use somebody else. In a way, like, we're happy with that. At least they've been educated, but they need something simple that they can actually handle straight away. Not everyone has the ability to VPN, into Phantom Wallet, into this, into that. Like, sometimes they need a much more easy system to use initially to start.
Yeah, 100%. So in addition to participating in token and socials and all that, how can the average user on Twitter, like a Solana user, participate in Agridex?
So once we've listed the token, we're going to have months and months where we continually add operability. And I think what would be really, really cool is anyone who's seen this, especially in parts of Asia that we don't have as much of a footprint in, we'd love to hear from them on our channels to advise us where they think that we can create more value. Like, what do people want more out of their food supply chains? I kind of mentioned brands, and the idea of adding brands, but are people interested about carbon reduction? Is there like environmentalism they want put in the chain? Because ultimately, if we get enough engagement on our Twitters and inside of our Discords and things on a particular topic, that's what we're going to focus on. And that's, I'm sure from what you do, that's the kind of joy of having a kind of a community that you listen to. So I think if anyone's listening to this and they're particularly interested in something that we could be doing with Agridex, then start rallying on our socials.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Cool. I think that's it from our side.
Anna, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, likewise. Good luck with your big day coming up.
Take care, guys. Thank you.
在此提醒大家，所有内容均不构成投资建议，都是我跟瑶瑶作为行业知识研究的产出，还有嘉宾的言论也是他们的个人言论，希望大家做自己的研究。
道路千万条，安全第一条，做自己的研究，让我们增强知识，然后在链上开心玩耍。欢迎关注安娜和瑶瑶 Talk， 然后我们会有更多行业一线前沿的资讯跟大家进行分享。非常感谢。